Welcome to KBS World Radio. You're now tuned in to Korea 24's Korea Book Club, where we explore the world of Korean literature. This is our weekend replay edition, playing back our book segment from Wednesday's show. We hope you enjoy it. I'm your host, Kwon Jang-woo. This week we have with us Barry Welsh, our literary critic and long-time contributor. He joins us now in the studio. Barry, hello. It's great to see you again.
Hello, it's great to see you too.
So what book are you introducing to our listeners today?
So today we are reviewing a novel called The Rainfall Market by You Yeong-gwang, and it was published in Korea and in English in 2025, so just this year, and it was translated by Slin Jung. The Korean title is 비가 오면 열리는 상점, and a very charming story he relates in the author's note is that he wrote The Rainfall Market whilst he was working as a food delivery driver, and this book is notable because it was crowdfunded after having been turned down by several traditional publishers and has subsequently been very successful. So interesting to note how it came into being. And the story, also very charmingly, Yu says that it was inspired by a dream that his friend had. So Yu was thinking of giving up on the book. His friend had a dream and told Yu the dream, and this encouraged him to continue persevering to pursue the book. Okay. So a very, very sweet story behind the novel. And this novel is also a part of this genre, which we've mentioned several times in the past, which is very prominent just now, of healing fiction. And this has become increasingly popular in Korea, not just in Korea. There's, Japanese versions of this and British versions and so on. But this is a genre that's focused on stories that provide comfort and sort of emotional introspection and psychological catharsis. And this trend has arguably emerged in Korea in response to the many pressures and challenges reflected in the Hell Choson sort of social phenomenon, where many young people feel disillusioned by the sort of competitive and stressful environment in Korea, education and employment and so on. And these books offer an escape. They explore sort of themes of personal resilience and survival, personal growth, and just therapeutic healing. And some examples which we've talked about on previously are the multi-million selling The Dallergut Dream Department Store, the Uncanny Convenience Store, the Honamdong Bookshop, the Marigold Mine Laundry, and many others as well. So these books seem to have captivated lots of readers, with their depictions of characters seeking solace in unexpected or magical places. And this latest example, The Rainfall Market, very much continues this trend and provides readers with a story of renewal and, again, emotional healing. And, these works offer, very simple escapism, but also serve as reflections on modern social values and invite readers to take their own journeys of self-discovery and solace.
Right, in fact, the cover art for The Rainfall Market is quite similar to the cover art for Welcome to the Honamdong Bookstore.
Oh, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's the same illustrator, but I think it's another sign, I guess, that this is a work in a similar mould.
Yeah.
But I understand that the premise of this book is a bit more whimsical and philosophical, right?
Right. So this... Of all of these healing fiction books, the one that it's most similar to is the Dallergut Dream Department Store, is really quite similar to that, but a similar type of whimsy and similarly thought-provoking story that again blends a sort of magical, fantastical realism, sort of an adventure of sorts and self-discovery into a very light and charming reading experience. The novel follows Serin, who's a very lonely girl. She writes a letter about her hardships to her favourite radio show. And she eventually receives a mysterious golden ticket which grants her access to the Rainfall Market. The Rainfall Market is a magical place run by dogebi, which are mischievous, goblin-like spirits from Korean folklore.
Right, dogebi.
Dogebi, sorry. And in the market, the visitors, like Serin, they can purchase a glass orb orb from each of the dokgaebi containing a life they've always wished for. So it might be a life with a great career or a great family or just a much happier life than the life they're currently living. But there's a catch, of course. So Serin and the other visitors, you only have 1 week to find this dream life, or you will be trapped in the market forever. And with the help of Isha, who's a magical shape-shifting, size-changing cat who behaves like a puppy, Serin explores these sort of various magical stalls and shops in the market. So we have a magical bookstore and a magical perfumery and a magical restaurant and so on. And she's searching for a perfect future to escape the sort of difficult life that she has. But then, of course, there's other issues as well. There's a thief, or someone seems to be going around breaking the rules. There's an element of danger comes into the story, and Serin has to question, what does it really mean to be happy? The writing is very simple, but very accessible. Has this heartfelt message about self-worth and making good choices and the meaning of happiness and so on. And for those who like this kind of thing, it is charming and magical, and there's some little adventure and some mild danger and peril, and it has just a sort of a found family feel, and it's sort of wrapped up with an, as you would expect, touching ending.
And this is another work in that growing genre then. How does this book fit into this genre at the moment?
Right, well, as we've maybe mentioned when we've reviewed some other examples of this genre, I have mixed feelings about this genre. So, like you said, healing fiction, it's a sort of catch-all term used to describe these very light, uplifting stories, focus on personal growth, emotional healing, self-discovery, kind of like a literary comfort blanket, right? There's nothing really challenging in these books. They often feature some element of magical realism. There's sort of very whimsical settings, and obviously a feel-good message about life's possibilities. And the Rainfall Market, like You Yeong-gwang, he designed this book to fit exactly into this genre. Like he set out to do that at the beginning. Doesn't really have this sort of strict or rigid plot. It's really more about this emotional journey that Serin goes on. It's trying to encourage you to reflect on your own choices and what makes a genuinely fulfilling life. However, while these, healing fiction novels do offer, comfort and reassurance, I think there are some, negative aspects to this phenomenon. So some might argue that these books often prioritize emotional appeal over, any real literary depth. They, often rely on predictable and formulaic storytelling, where some lost, jaded protagonist stumbles upon some magical setting or magical item, and this enables them to learn life lessons. And of course, this can be uplifting, but I think I'm beginning to really think some of these novels are just overly simplistic solutions to these, real life struggles. They gloss over the complexities of these issues of grief or loneliness or personal growth or whatever. But the genre's commercial success has led to a sort of boom in the market, sort of craving more of these books. And I think it's just become an oversaturated market with these very similar stories. They're kind of tailored for international appeal. The Rainfall Market, like I said at the beginning, it was published in Korean and English at the same time.
Right.
I don't think there's that much deep reflection here. But obviously these books are resonating with readers, and it's depressing that so many readers are resonating with these books because it suggests that lots of people are experiencing difficult times.
We've been talking about The Rainfall Market by You Yeong-gwang, translated by Slin Jung, and that was our pick for Korea Book Club this week. Barry, thank you for a review, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Take care.